Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Tuesday, the 11th of April, comes to you from London. And I hope you all had a good Easter break. I'm starting with a different screen this morning. I've been scanning for the top 8 stocks for me to buy in the UK market. You can do this in any market, of course. And I bought these this morning. I've hidden the names on the chart just because I don't really want to give stock recommendations. But these are the 8 stocks that I've just bought this morning. And I bought these by doing a scan. So really, basically what I was doing is just running a scan on the various criteria that I'm looking for. So looking for above the cloud on the weekly, on the lagging line, and the daily cloud as well. Point and figure targets above 20%. So basically that's how that condition looks. And both targets above 20% on the 0.5% and 1% log scale charts, and that we're above the 21-day average on the on-balance volume. So the volume is rising too. And so I run that scan, and I end up with a great big long list. Out of 1,800 stocks, it narrows it down to a few hundred. I rank them by score, and I can say that I bought a few of the stocks that in that top list, and these are they. And so now all I'm doing is just running my stop losses, making sure that, and you'll notice all these charts are going up, and basically that's it. I'm locked into these 8 stocks. I put them in, put some money in my ISA, new tax year, and basically put a few £1,000 into each of these just to fill up my ISA. So basically, that's the process. And I'll now just watch for these to any of these to break their stop losses. Got a few up this morning. One's up 10% already, so looking pretty good. And basically, when one of these stops is breached, I'll be on the hunt for the next one that's in the top of that list that's not already there. So that's the process, in search of 8 great stocks. And of course, you could do this for any market. So we look at the markets, and I'll put the titles back on the charts now so you can see the names of the charts. And so basically, we're looking at US dollar here, and we can see that the dollar is really falling away. It's really quite significant. Had a jump yesterday, but falling away. Dollar index starting to look like we're testing this new low and just waiting for this downside target to be activated on the 1% chart. Not looking great on the medium term. Remembering this is my weekly, my daily, and my 60-minute, my long-term, medium-term, and short-term view of the market, and the corresponding point and figure targets. I'm running on Refinitiv Icon, but you can run Updata on over 30 different data sources. The choice is yours. Just plug it in. And of course, it's the power of the targets that really is great. And then it's just the speed. All this data is cached, and I can run through really quickly. So looking at what's going on, we've got sterling sitting at 124.30. Just edging through the cloud there on the weekly. On the daily, looking better on that weaker dollar, struggling to get above 125. I've still got my Aussie trade open, sitting at 186.69, waiting for these upside targets. So yeah, really quite key there. And we've got some really big upside targets. We'll get a new one on this column, but you can see here these upside targets. It's all to play for. Aussie making new highs again. It's just that simple. Bitcoin is above $30,000. That's a big story today. The target that we gave over the last week or two has been 54,000, 50,000 on the 0.5%. So we are pushing towards those targets. There's one hit at 31,000, which is shorter term, 31,400 on the 60-minute chart. So no big surprises there. Bitcoin is meeting the targets. Now, the NASDAQ was open yesterday. We're closed in Europe for Easter Monday, but interestingly, we're open in the US. We did gap down. We hit the cloud support on the 60-minute, and then we've pushed back at the close. So still looking pretty good on that medium term. Long term, we've still got work to do. And if we look at the futures today, the futures are up about 0.25%. The S&P E-mini is sitting up there, and really that 4,200 level is the level that we've got to break through. And we ran a poll recently, would we break above that? And most people didn't think we would. And interestingly, we've run a poll on gold this morning. So if you haven't voted for that on LinkedIn, go and do so. Be very interesting to see what the results are for that. So we're seeing the markets looking a little bit perky. The FTSE future up nearly 0.5%. The DAX in Germany up 2/3%. So markets looking stronger there. The DAX now bullish on all 3 time frames. A shortage of long-term targets, but we do have a target on 14% higher on the 0.5% log scale chart. So quite interesting there. Asia is looking stronger as well. Japan up just under 1%, despite everything that's going on politically there with China and Taiwan. Still seeing markets rising. The Hang Seng up 0.75%, and India was up 0.5%, and the Aussie market looking quite strong. Quite good for my Aussie portfolio, up 1.3%. Of course, we've got currency deterioration there, so that is, if you're sterling based, that is a little bit of a downside. We'll look at the energy mix in a minute, as we always do at the end. But looking at some of the soft commodities, we've got see sugar up 2.3%. That's really starting to move now, bullish on all three time frames, and we've got targets some 16% higher there, so really looking quite bullish. Looking to gold now, back above the 2000 level. We've got targets on the medium term chart to 2100, 2300. In the poll, we had 3000, 4000 and above 5000, and people are voting for that and no higher, of course. So it'll be very interesting to see the consolidated results there. We're expecting thousands of votes on that poll, so keep an eye on that. Silver is looking better above $25, so that's starting to look really quite strong and getting back into the bullish area. And of course, if we can break this $30 level, then silver will really run. Got a target here of $31, just a shortage of medium-term targets. 25.75 is the short-term target. If you're trading precious metals, keep an eye on those 1-minute charts. Looking at bond yields, we're seeing here we're down 0.6% on the bond yield. We did touch 325, and we have now activated these downside targets to 230, 238. So the sentiment for higher bond yields is declining. We're still bullish in the long run, but medium term we're back below the cloud. So it's really going to take time for this scenario to play out. Quite interesting there. Saw Apple stock yesterday sitting at 162. That's really the bellwether, and we've activated the upside target there. So looking pretty bullish now again on all three time frames. Now looking at the energy mix, we start with Brent Crude. We're up 0.5% this morning. We went out as neutral in our morning call on Brent Crude. Really, it's targets in either direction on the 1 minute for today. The 60-minute, we do have targets to the upside and one to the downside, which has been activated. So it's really a case of just waiting for the break. We said bearish below 84 and bullish above 87. We're in that range on Brent. And similarly on WTI, of course, as well. And we're seeing here we are just pushing lower there. For the moment, just starting to struggle to hold this gain, and we're back below the clouds. So really one to watch. US nat gas down 1/3% this morning, has jumped back above the cloud, which is why we were neutral. And if we look at emissions, we were neutral here this morning as well, but the position has improved since that call, and we are now above, just nudging that 98 level. 97 we're above. That's going to be really critical to just get above 98, a little bit of an ascending triangle there. Got an upside target to 101, 99. If you're trading emissions, keep an eye on these 1 minute targets. But you can see on the 60-minute chart, we're looking pretty strong. And of course, we've got longer term targets much higher than 100 euros, so quite key. Gas was down this morning, but has put in a recovery, so that's quite interesting. Watching for those reversals on the 1 minute targets. We always say watch the 1 minute targets. They're going to be key. And if we look at TTF, much the same here. We bounced and recovered. And last of all, a look at German power. We're seeing here on the Cal 24 the big leap and then just pull back. So really quite interesting. But for energy, it's all eyes on what's going to happen with crude oil. Will we break lower, or will we manage, having jumped on that OPEC announcement, well, the production cuts announcement, will we now run higher? That's it for today. Keep an eye on those markets, and if you want to know how to scan for the top stocks, to find the best stocks, I work with lots of funds doing that. Just let me know. Until tomorrow, happy charting. Bye for now.